Fast X is directed by Louis Leterrier, who, holy shit, he directed The Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton. I thought that movie was underrated. Anyway, it's the sequel to F9, which came out in 2021. It's the 10th main installment, but it is the 11th. Technically, it's the 11th installment overall in the whole Fast and Furious franchise, if you include the movie Hobbs and Shaw, the spin-off. It stars Vin Diesel as Dominic Toretto once again, alongside an ensemble cast of actors who are returning, as their characters in their roles from the previous films, alongside new characters like Jason Momoa and Brie Larson and Alan Ritchson. Alan Ritchson. Reacher? Is it? He played Reacher. It's not Preacher, it's Reacher. And also, I remember him as Aquaman from Smallville. But anyway, so yeah, in this film, Dom must protect his family from Dante Reyes, played by Jason Momoa, who seeks revenge for his father's death and loss of his family's fortune. All right. So, I don't think I've ever reviewed any of the Fast and Furious. I think I remember reviewing the ninth. I do remember reviewing F9. I don't think I reviewed F8 or any of the other films. But anyway, let me give you a basic rundown. The first, four or five movies, the first four movies in the Fast and Furious franchise, I thought were pretty mediocre and pretty bland and basic. 5 through, I think, 7 or 8, the writing and the character dynamic and everything, the development of these characters and all of it improved. It definitely improved, and it was actually really good and very entertaining. And then, the 8th one, it was 5 through 7. I think it was 5 through 7. Anyway, and then it was the 8th one, which I think is titled The Fate of the Furious, if I'm not mistaken. And then the 8th and the 9th one came out, and this whole franchise just went straight up but not, bonkers. And just fucking goofy and silly shit. Oh my god, they went... Is it the last movie? They went in a fucking outer space with they strapped a car on a space. Anyway, I swear to God, I will not be surprised if any of these Fast and Furious movies, they have time travel involved, or dinosaurs, or some superhero bullshit. This franchise went from, serious, grounded, drag racing, mixed with illegal activities, to now, there's, cyber terrorism, and, family revelations, and, surprises, and now it's just bonkers and crazy, and Dominic Toretto, Vin Diesel, has superhuman strength. He has superhuman strength. These characters... I think in one of the Fast and Furious movies, one of the characters, I think it was Tyrese Gibson, who was, saying, "We have superpowers." And then Ludacris was like, "You're just full of bullshit, man." But yeah, this franchise is just crazy as hell at this point. So, yeah. So, a lot of things happened during this, production, during the making and development of this movie, with the 10th film planned all the way back since 2014, and a 2-part finale planned since October 2020. Lin was confirmed to return to direct with the main cast attached. The film's official title was revealed, and then this principal photography that began in April 2022. But however, Lin left as director later that month, citing creative differences, though he retained writing and producing credits. Louis Leterrier was then hired as his replacement a week later and performed several uncredited rewrites to the screenplay. and of course the longtime franchise composer Brian Tyler, but which by the way I didn't know did he, I'm sure he did. I mean I'm reading it from here, but Brian Tyler composed long-term franchise composer Brian Tyler returned to score the film, the composed this music for the film. So yeah, with an estimated production budget of $340 million, it is the eighth most expensive film ever made. Holy shit! But yeah, this film, I and a lot of other people have feelings, mixed reviews, mixed feelings about this film. There were definitely some very good highlights, but there's also a lot of flaws and a lot of garbage that I'll get into. Don't worry, I won't spoil the movie for you. But yeah, I will say this. Jason Momoa, listen, I'm sure he had a great time, acting and, filming his scenes in this movie. But I don't know why, but I felt like he was a little bit like, not a whole lot, but like a little bit over the top, cartoonish and silly. I love Jason Momoa as an actor and, as a person, but like, I don't know. I really wasn't invested with his character. And I just really didn't care that much to it. The movie really relies heavily on Tyrese Gibson's comedy and his little banter bickering with Ludacris throughout the entire movie. And don't get me wrong, the shit that he says is funny as hell, but the comedy is really relied on his character. So yeah, and let me think. There's a lot of shit going on in this movie. There's a lot of shit. Like, Vin Diesel is over here. Michelle Rodriguez is like under arrest, or like she's under arrest, and Charlize Theron needs help from Vin Diesel and Michelle Rodriguez. Meanwhile, Tyrese Gibson, Ludacris, Natalie, however you pronounce, whichever you pronounce her name, they're over here. Like, characters are like, it's all over the place. That's all. That's what I think about this movie. All right, my point is, the whole story, characters, and this whole story, they're all over the place. Like, Vin Diesel is over here, Michelle Rodriguez is over there with Charlize Theron, and then you got Tyrese Gibson and Ludacris and Natalie. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. Her name has an H, so I don't really know. But you have the three of them over here, and then you got John Cena and Dominic Toretto's Vin Diesel's son over there, and they're like, you got the movie is going back and forth between all of these characters and what they're doing and trying, like, all of them trying to like come together. This feels like part one out of maybe how many more are there? A sequel is scheduled to be released in 2025, so that's one. Another installment is, so that's three. This feels like part one out of like a 3-part like season finale or series finale. Yeah, this is just one part. And I don't know. The film does a terrible job like going back and forth with all these characters. I mean, I don't really know. I guess I'm the only person. I mean, Brie Larson didn't have much to do in this movie. We saw her in the trailers with a, what was that? Yeah, by the way, this movie has 2 Aquamans. It has Jason Momoa and Alan Richardson, or Richardson, whatever. It has 2 Aquaman, although they never really I just really didn't like. I didn't really like how Louise Leterrier's, directed this movie. You know, it felt incoherent. If that makes it. If that makes it. The plot is just. It's very incoherent. And this movie is filled. It's bloated with so many cast and so many characters, and it's like the movie's like switching back and forth between here, these group of characters, and then that group of characters over here. Like I said, it feels so bloated, and the dialogue feels like. And the dialogue is really bad. The dialogue is really bad. So, yeah, that's it. Get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. No, get out of here. That's my review for Fast X. I can't really think of anything else. I've said everything that I wanted to say, that I needed to say. Hopefully I didn't give anything major away. But, that rhymed. So anyway, if you've seen Fast X, let me know what you thought about it. I don't know. Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for taking your time to listen to my review. Please like, comment, subscribe, do all that great stuff, and I will see you in my next video.